Child, listen, y'all. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. Okay, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. But I'm here. Okay, I made it here, and we have some things to talk about today, right? Today we are here. Oh, I'm sorry. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jeremy Speaks, and I'm here today to talk to y'all about none other than the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 7 Reunion Special Part 1. Y'all, listen. I don't really feel that, I have any type of negative emotion towards this reunion because I did like the way it panned out. But we will be going through everything. And, I will be on camera for this one. I know it's been a minute since everybody's seen my face. Child. So let me lift up the veil. Okay. So, hi, everybody. How y'all doing? It's your boy Jeremy Speaks, and I'm coming at y'all again today with another video. Hopefully, I don't look sick. I know I feel sick, and I know I sound sick, but we're gonna get through it. All right, so let's pick it up here. So this season overall, I'm gonna rate it a good 6 out of 10, right? I'm not going to give this season a 7 or an 8 because I felt that what we saw on this season was, for the most part, just fairy tales and lies. And let me tell you why I believe that there's lies. So 6 months ago, Ashley told us that this month is when she'll be able to file for her divorce. Have y'all heard of Ashley filing for a divorce yet? Have y'all heard of Ashley filing for a divorce? Why are we not talking about that? Why are we not discussing the fact that Ashley is still a married woman? That Ashley is still somebody tied down to this man named Michael Darby? We're not talking about that enough, right? Then on top of that, we have this wedding with Robin. Robin has his wedding going on, and it's been such a climactic build up. We seen them have the engagement party. We seen, Juan telling Robin to go wash her cat and to go take a shower, put on some clothes, stop stanking up our bedroom. We've heard all of that type of stuff. And then we go to a last minute wedding on the last episode with nobody there as a surprise to us, just for her 2 weeks after the reunion tapes to tell us that not only was he cheating, but he was flying hoes out, from different area codes, different countries, basically doing, God knows what. But coincidentally, she's going to wait until after the season and the reunion wraps because she thought that she got off real easy. She thought that she was going to get off scot-free until they called her back for a third part to the reunion to talk about how her man is never there. And that's something else that we really need to discuss. Why is it that it's okay for Robin to not have Juan there? Well, okay, like a lot of y'all are on Twitter, right? A lot of y'all are on Twitter basically saying that, Robin needs to come back next season so we can see her handle this stuff with Juan. Juan ain't even showing up for filming. Juan ain't even showing up to the reunion to clear his name, to talk about how happy he was that he got married. Juan is not going to be there. Juan is gonna cuss her out, walk away, and like storm off. Like it's no reason to bring her back if the other person in the relationship is not willing to talk about what's going on in the relationship actively because they don't want to be exposed for not treating their partner as they should be treated. Right? Juan is never coming. Juan is never coming. I'm surprised that he even came to the wedding. I'm surprised he came to a wedding and that was not some type of Madame Tussauds wax statue. I'm surprised. Right? Like, and it's getting sad to me. It's getting sad. Give me a second. Because I feel like what we're dealing with right now, and I'm sorry, y'all, if y'all are getting like, shady, 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 service right now. But let me say hi to everybody real quick. I apologize. What's up, LMV? How you doing? What's up? It's a Virgo, Tay Baby, Alicia, Jazzy, Bougie, um, Tay Baby, Sonia, PYT, Addie Hill, Cat W, Sharice Woods, Kalia, High Vibe, VMW. Does that stand for vagina made well? I don't know. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's your initials. I don't know. But anyway, hate everybody. I know it's been a minute since we all seen each other and whatnot. But yes, before we start getting into things, I felt like because this kind of reunion was a little bit I feel like straight to the point, we had really good moments in there, but I kind of just wanted to give a synopsis about the whole season before we got, kind of dived into everything, right? So, yeah, it makes no sense. None of this makes sense. That's on the show right now. Like, so let's get into it. So we pick up here. Everybody, is getting ready. You know, um, Andy is going into everybody's room, going to make sure that they're getting themselves situated. He goes into Robin and Giselle's room and he says, hey everybody, how y'all doing? They're so happy to see Andy, and Andy's basically saying to Robin, oh, you're a married woman now. Girl, you married now. You're a woman now. You are kept a woman now. And then she says, yes, and she's like, I never thought we'll see today. Neither did we, Andy. But, he asks, will one be coming in today? Robin is going to say to us, oh no, he has to work. And then Andy's going to say, I thought so. And it's crazy to me that we're not pressing on that, because I would have expected Andy to be saying, well, why is he always working every single time we have a reunion? There's no way he can call out, this is a way that y'all have funded y'all lives, because we know the Coppin State is not giving one enough money to to be buying these houses and furnishing them the way that they have now. We know that. Right? But anyway, we ask and Giselle how she's doing. She says she's fine. She can't wait to talk about what needs to be talked about. Girl, you about to get ate up. Anyway, let's move on to the next. So he goes into Karen's room, right? He goes into Karen's room and he says, hey, are you ready? Robin and Robin and blah 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 got married. And Karen is gonna say, yeah, I did hear that, good for them. Because this does not even come across authentic. It doesn't. Like, and I'm saying, at this point, what are we doing? Huh? What are we doing here? When what we're seeing on the TV just doesn't even seem like actual reality. You know what Real Housewives of Potomac is kind of tiptoeing themselves into? They're kind of becoming the new Love and Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, where after a while everything started to be fake. Like, people were in fake relationships, people were having fake arguments, people were talking into fake telephones and such like that. You remember the girl who was talking into the telephone that wasn't even plugged into a landline and it was just unplugged, but she was having like this real heated conversation with her man on the phone. And she was like, "You gonna stop cheating on me, and you gonna stop doing this, and you gonna stop doing that, and you gonna treat me the way I deserve to be treated." And we literally was in like the camera had. I was like, did the camera zoom in so we could see that like she wasn't talking to anybody? It's giving that because we know at this point that, Robin is getting married to further her storyline, because next season probably is going to be how unhappy that she is to, to adjusting to her married life. I wouldn't be surprised if she got married and then they annulled and got divorced a week later, or next season, and then just went right back to living together with no type of strings attached or commitment. The fact that Robin feels that she does not need to to approach Juan about certain things is crazy to me. And the fact that whenever she does approach Juan about anything, Juan decides to get aggressive, angry, and he always walks out. One thing Juan is going to do is walk out on Robin and leave her face hanging, regardless if it's after he cussed her out on the phone, after he cussed her out in person, after he said that, you being depressed and going through depression is not sexy. He's going to leave her hanging. And then she's going to take that anger and that hurt, that wide back hurt. And then she's going to try to exert that hurt upon Wendy Osefo for having a man that actually loves and cares about her, because that's not what she's getting from Juan. They just coming across as homies. I get it, Juan. I get it, Juan, because when you are just homies with a person, when y'all just bros, I ain't trying to hear all that. What, like, when we going to the basketball game? I ain't trying to hear no feelings. We homeboys. That like, I ain't gay. What are you talking about? This homosexual? It's giving that. He looks at her like one of the boys. And honestly, over time, Robin has morphed into a nigga. Honestly. Like, when I seen old photos of Robin from back in the day, it was giving soft, supple, petite, frame, cover girl, bad D. But now, it's definitely giving, manly, wide back, football player, hike, hut. It's giving a lot of things, right? Just a lot of things that are manly, pass the football, alley hoop, it's all of those type of things. I don't know. Maybe over time, she just came into being a linebacker. But at the end of the day, y'all, Robin is not the person who she was when he first met her, right? Which is why he gives her that endearing name, Rob. I don't know. I don't know a lot of men who like to give their women, male nicknames. He calling his wife Rob. Anyway, so then we go into Candace's room, right? We go into Candace's room. She's ready. Candace is ready. Candace is here. Candace is here for the mess. She's ready to get things started, And we're gonna, like, of course, we're gonna sit here and act like, how are you doing? Girl, she's doing well, but she's ready to handle these ladies who've been lying on her husband. Period. But let's continue. So then, Mia, Wendy, we go to those rooms. Cool, cool, cool. Let's skip forward. So now everybody's coming out. We're all sitting down. We're all, seeing the scenery. Now, me personally, I did not like the scenery. Right? I thought it gave kind of drab. I thought it gave kind of, I for the blue to be so vibrant, like, the dresses that I'm talking about, like blue to be such a vibrant color. I don't know. I guess I was expecting something more so like, like some type of, Dios de los Muertos, like, Fiesta for the Day of the Living Dead. Something like that probably, where it's like a whole bunch of color popping everywhere, a lot of tile, a lot of, Mexican themed, stuff, architecture, that beautiful, because y'all know like, Mexico they can give you a real good tiling. They can give you a real good tiling. But like this, like dark, I don't know if it was like a burgundy or brownish, like, background against the blue, it just didn't go right for me. Now let's get to the seating. So on the left hand side, where our left, they're right, right? We have Karen, Candace, Robin, Mia. On our right side, their left, we have Giselle, Ashley, and then Wendy. And then Andy is going to ask these women, what do they think about the seating arrangement? Why are you all even asking about why y'all think about the seating arrangement? Because y'all know that they don't think that is all right. Like, it's trash. Because number one, why is Ashley in the second seat next to Giselle? Why? It's because she had, like, you don't want to put her close to, Wendy, because everybody beefing. But then again, that makes me so confused, because at the end of the day, we have Robin and Karen on one side and they hate each other. And Robin and Candace aren't that cool either. And Robin don't even like Mia like that. So what are we talking about here? Why, like, I don't understand why couldn't have been just like Karen, Candace, and Wendy, or Candace, Karen, and Wendy, and then Giselle, Robin, Ashley, Mia, and then have it happen like that. Why is it that these women are just so, is it so we don't look colorist? Is that what it's giving? Let us try to fight the colorism accusations by, like breaking up the dark skin, power on the show, and putting them in between all of the backstabby light skin hoes. Like, is that what it's giving? Okay. So I guess so. Candace says, well, it's your design. This is your creation. Andy says, I didn't create it. I just had a hand in it. Like, this is another thing that I'm trying to think about. Like, so who runs this Housewife franchise? Like, who runs? Is it just the production? Because I don't know. Like, I thought that Bravo creates the show, and then they hire production to produce the show. But they're only there to produce the show. I didn't know that they actually have control over the cast above, actual executives who run the network or are partially running the network. So I didn't understand So you telling me Eric, Irk, and the rest of the producers have more power of the seating arrangement than you? Or are you just trying to blame it on production so you don't get dragged when we see what's happening? Because you knew that this seating arrangement was trash, right? But let's continue. So we're gonna get it started here. So we start. Well, I'm not gonna say we started off, because I'm not gonna tell y'all these things, in chronological form. I'm just gonna tell you how I interpret it. So the first thing up, we talk about, Ashley and Luke, and we get a little bit of a veil lifted, and we get to see what was going on in that relationship and what caused the fall of that relationship. Ashley basically tells us that she's living in her house now, but she says that Michael has a key. She also says that she has a key to Michael's place, but only for the children. Did I also mention to y'all that Ashley still is not filed for divorce yet? It's February 20th. It's only 8 more days in this month. She still ain't filed for divorce. How many of y'all think they're actually gonna go through with this divorce? Raise your hand in the chat real quick. I just want to take a vote. Let me know if y'all feel that this woman is going to actually let me out. Like I'll make one in the chat right now. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second, please. All right, so let me go here. And I also apologize, y'all. I know the graphics are supposed to be graphicking better than what they usually are, but I didn't really feel like making no thumbnail yet. I'll make one after I wrap up the video, okay? But I'm chat real quick. Uh, close. So start a poll. And I just want y'all to know. And I just want y'all to tell me what y'all feel. Okay, there we go. All right. So answer me that. So she says that, her and Luke were hot and heavy. She said she fell in love with this man. And I don't know. Maybe it's me, but is it possible for mothers to or fathers, from case whatever the case may be, is it possible to fall in love with your partner when they personally, have not met your children yet and you don't know what type of parent they could be? Could you fall in love with somebody who could be a terrible parent to your children? Is that something that could happen? Let me know. It like is like or do you need that? Do you need that kind of confirmation to fall in love? Because she said she fell in love with him, and I guess I was just shocked when she said that, that she had fell in love with him. But apparently, her and Luke broke up because apparently she did not have no strict boundaries with Michael. No, Michael was not, respecting the boundaries, and he was apparently a trooper. Now, understand me when I say this. Ashley is making sure to choose her words very delicately when she's talking about Michael. You want to know why? And it's because she needs him still. And that lets me know that she's truthfully not going to divorce this man. She needs him still. She's going to stay there and stay in it and deal with it because he's funding her lifestyle. He's funding her to think. And I wouldn't even say he's funding the lifestyle, to be honest, because it's not like she's living a life of luxury. Like, sweetie, he's not even making sure that you're living a luxurious life. Honey, the fact that you've been on this show for 7 seasons, and you literally told Candace that she was the least decorated person on the cast when she literally worked with the Obama administration, graduated from Howard University, one of the top and most prestigious universities in the country, that also is an HBCU, period, poo. Okay. Then she was doing then she also had her own company. Then on top of that, she had her own, managing firm for people who wanted to go into the world of pageantry. Meanwhile, you had Michael. Did Ashley graduate college, y'all? Did Ashley graduate college? Did Ashley go to college? Huh? But now, Andy is getting into the roots of everything. And then, here comes Wendy. Oh my God. When like Andy, you didn't even know the tea. Like Andy, I had talked to Ashley, and Ashley had said like that she got, Luke to hit up, Jeffrey or whatever his name is and message Giselle. Jason from Summer House that's 16 years younger than her. Yeah. And then they hit it off right there. Wendy, Wendy. Wendy, I love you. I swear I do. I love you and Candace. I love you and Candace down. But all I want, I don't even know if you're doing this intentionally. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to assume things about you and not be 100% certain. Are you trying to kiss ass? Like, are you just like, are you just can't help yourself? Like, I'm sorry, I don't give a damn how the person who does not like me and was laughing at somebody who threw a drink in my face. I don't care how their relationship came above. And then on top of that, I would be saying, "Oh yeah, like she's old enough to be his mom. She could have raised him. Maybe she could teach him a couple of things. Like that was the time for you to throw some shade, for some time for you to eat her up a little bit. You don't need to be, we don't need that, Wendy. Right now is demolition derby time. It's demolition time. We like on the reunion, we tearing hoes down to rebuild them up next season. We're not trying to build hoes up on the reunion. We try to destroy each other, Wendy. Okay. So I'm gonna need you to direct some shade Giselle's way. I don't give a damn about. I don't even know why you were asking how they even got hooked up. So let me move on, please, because I ain't trying to give Wendy too much. Cause I know, cause I've been known to do that. I believe in tough love. I just want the best for my son. I just want the best for her. That's it. Give me a second, y'all. I have to get some new earphones, y'all, because I do not like these earphones. They're not comfortable. But anyway, let's continue. So now at this point, Ashley is basically breaking down as to why her and, her and Luke did not, come about, how that didn't work. And then we also flash back to Candace in the scene, from early in the season saying, Ashley deserves some young balls, not those old, decrepit, musty ones with the dust and the mothballs on them. She needs a fresh set of balls. And she manifested it apparently. And at this point, they ask, they ask Ashley this question. And I'm talking about the viewers. So I don't know who the hell Nancy is from Michigan or Detroit, but Nancy asked a really good question. They asked her, so Ashley, how do you feel now that things progress and seasons has passed, that you said that Candace is the least accomplished person on the cast, knowing that you are still trying to pay for your house and you need Michael to do it, and she's in all of these movies, TV shows, releasing albums, going on tour, doing all of this and that, while you're literally struggling to buy a house. And then Andy's gonna say, ouch, that was mean. Andy, you can't say that after you read it. Okay. Anyway. So, Ashley says, I do apologize for that. But me myself, I believe that after a certain age, you need to have some financial responsibility. Candace asks, well, do you have that? Do you have financial responsibility? Because didn't you need Michael to pay for to pay for this house? What about you paying for your own house? She says, I could have paid for a house, but she said, I'm talking about this house. Could you pay for it? No. Right? Okay, then. Well, let's not shame my mom and my family for having the wherewithal to be able to give me generational wealth to pass down, so I'm not having to struggle and sleep with married men or sleep with old decrepit men to get the things that I need in my life. I could just go to my family and they can make it happen, because that's what they built this money for, was to make sure their children never had to lay on their back with a closeted bisexual old nasty butt grabbing man, allegedly. Right. Now, Ashley, now Candace did not add all of that in there. Some of that was me. but the sentiment was the same. Now, after that, Ash is gonna say to her, "Oh yeah, and you better know that Dylan. What's her children's names? Dexter and Dylan, or something like that. Dylan and I don't know, Dylan and the Dershowitz or something like that. Her kids got two old ass names. Anyway, she was like, "You better believe that they're gonna have a house in their names when they get older." And I was like, "Okay, why is it okay for you to do it for your children, but not for Candace's mom to do it for her? And you're gonna have two grown ass men that you just gonna give houses to, but this woman, they're like this daughter can't depend on her family, to do, for the generational wealth." I'm so confused. Dean and Dylan, yeah, them, yeah, the children, Dean and Dylan. But at the end of the day, what you're saying is literally what what Candace is got right now. So it lets me know that you're just mad because at the end of the day, while Candace's mom was going through her PhD, her residency, earning money for the family, and then also her dad is a doctor, and her stepdad is a doctor. Your mom was underneath, the bridge, basically feeding you used, popsicles that she found in the trash. Basically, you was getting your hair cornrowed by squirrels. That's what you really mad at. Because at the end of the day, while you was sleeping on the park benches, Candace was sleeping on a luxurious Egyptian cotton 700 count. It's giving mad. It's giving hater vibes. It's giving hater vibes. And I will always say this. I don't know why is it so okay for white people to have generational wealth and white people to have, to pass millions downs to, to their people, or for them to buy each other houses and stuff like that, or ask their parents for loans of $2 million to start up a business. But when it comes to black people, we have to get it out the mud. We have to get it how we live. We gotta make it happen on our own. I don't want to make it happen on my own. I'm sorry. I'd rather have the easy route. Me, Jeremy would like it easy. Jeremy would like it very easy, please. I'd rather not have any struggle in my life. Willingly. I can struggle in my professional life, but as far as like making sure that my finances are handled, if my family can do that for me, thanks. Amazing. Because when that doesn't happen, we have poverty, right? We have poverty. We have sleeping with old men, for sustenance and financial stability. Candace don't have to do that. Candace is married to a man that she loves, even though he might not be the brokest, but she loves him for him, and he loves her for her. And the difference between you two, yeah, her husband may have less money than yours, but her husband loves her and respects her enough not to have her embarrassed in front of these public streets, sleeping and dipping it and sucking it and licking it with God knows who and God knows what. Let's move on. So now we're gonna so now we're here. We're asking, Candace, I guess I want to say this before anybody else does, but they're gonna say that your dress is giving, Cookie Monster, right? Andy, you thought you ate that. You thought you ate that, but you didn't. You really did. Like nobody said that. Nobody said that except for you. It's giving pathetic. Whack, boo. We weren't here for it. Nobody else thought that except for you. And Candace lied because she know damn well she did not get that dress together thinking about Deborah. Let's not lie. Like, I don't know why it's always easy for me to tell when people are lying. But when she said, maybe it's like that by design, I was like, girl, you're lying. You did not get this dress like this, in celebration of Deborah Realis. We didn't do that. Like, let's not lie. Let's not lie. But you right, Miss P, she did think quick. That was quick thinking, but I knew it was a lie immediately. I was like, you're lying. You're lying. And you shouldn't have to lie about your dress because that dress was definitely not giving Cookie Monster. Do not let Andy and his coke infused alleged, fits of rage and delusion have you thinking that you're not looking good. Okay, you don't have to lie. Okay, I would have been like, oh, is it giving Cookie Monster? Oh, well, I'm about to eat the girls. I don't know what I would have said, but I would not have been like, maybe it was by design. I would definitely not have said that my dress was an ode to Deborah. Period. But she did. She was quick on her feet. I'm quick on my feet too, but maybe I just think I would have thought of something differently. But regardless of the point, Candace rebounded. She did a good job. Good job, Candace. Hey to everybody that's coming in. Give me 1 second because y'all new here. Y'all may be new here. This is a safe place. This is a place where you can tell me what you think, how you feel about it, how you think about all of the discourse going on this live as we go throughout these topics. You don't have to agree with Jeremy. That's fine. You don't have to agree with me, but you will respect me. y'all remember when what's her name? Because I'm a boss. She was like, you don't have to like me, but you will respect me. But anyway, like, so any one of y'all that's new here, please feel comfortable and know that y'all are welcome, that y'all are loved, and hit the subscribe button because now from this point on in the video, that's the only way y'all gonna be able to chitter chatter. All right, let's continue. So now we're moving on to Mia. So Mia, we ask about her health, right? Mia says her health is doing okay. She still has some diseases. She's taking some medication, but she is also cancer free. Now, everybody is a little bit confused because we also have to give it a pause because we're going to bring up the fact that Wendy lied. I don't really know why this was even important into the grand scheme of things. Like they brought up Wendy lying about, believing Mia and, thinking that she was a liar. But I didn't think that was important enough to what y'all should have did. What y'all should have done was bring up the fact that Robin stood up on Wendy was walking towards her and Charisse had to hold her back. That's what we could have brought up. But instead, we want to talk about what Wendy feels. But at the end of the day, let's be real here. Regardless if you believe somebody is lying or not, if somebody's talking about cancer or if somebody's talking about some type of medical ailment or medical illness, what self-respecting person or an actual person with a heart would get on into the front of this person and be like, I don't believe you. Nobody would do that. Like it's been multiple people that I know that I felt like were lying about, medical things. But I never once said, girl, I think you lying. You keep that to yourself because you never know the possibility that what they're saying could be truth or not. Because maybe in some, crazy, circumstance, what they could say may be true. But you have to keep that to yourself because only a douchebag will go around telling people that could possibly have cancer that they think that they lying. Who would do that? Nobody. So I was confused why everybody was up there like, and like a lot of people out here talking about, I'm that type of bitch that if I feel something, I'm gonna tell somebody how I feel. You do that when it doesn't come up to things dealing with somebody's health. It's no way that I'm going to sit here and say, I think you're lying when somebody tells me that they think that they may have cancer. Regardless of how I feel or not, you just have enough couth, class, and je ne sais quoi about yourself to not do something so tacky. So do I think that Wendy is tacky for that? No. Do I believe Wendy is fake? No. But in the grand scheme of the show, I guess. But only somebody who's terrible would think that it's okay to walk up to somebody and be like, I think you lying about your health. Period. And then look at the two look at the two witches who decided to do it. You have Giselle and Robin. That speaks enough for itself. Right? Who would want to do anything like Giselle or Robin? Huh? Nobody? Okay, that's what I thought. So moving on. And now we're not like everybody's questioning her about her health. Mia's not making a lick of sense. She says, okay. So it definitely got ruled out as cancer, but it is in my bloodstream. It's in my coochie hole. It's in my legs. It's in my ass crack. But it's been ruled out that it's been ruled out that it's hepatitis. It's been ruled out, that is circumferential. It's been ruled out, that I have, mutants in my ass crack. It's been ruled out. But at the end of the day, they have medication for me. And at the end of the day, something is going on with me and I'm going to find out. And sure, I've been getting tested for 2 years now and don't nobody knows what's happening. But at the end of the day, they said that extra flesh and, extra meat is growing in my uterus. So, yeah. How about that, bitch? I was like, I don't know about this. I was like, I don't know. It's not giving. It's not giving what you thought it gave. So then Andy asks her, y'all. So then Andy says, well, when Mia, a lot of people feel that because of all those ass shots and because of all of that, back alley, surgery that you got, that maybe that's what your body's reacting to and your body may be rejecting that. And then she's going to say, yeah, I thought that as well, and that actually came up. So I was like, oh, so you admit that you got back alley ass shots and your body potentially could be rejecting it. So then she says, but that's what sarcoidosis is. Sarcoidosis or one of the two. And at the end of the day, that was ruled out too. But I do have extra flesh and extra, extra material growing in my uterus and ovarian, area. Okay. So they're like, but she was like, but Wendy. I was like, but Wendy? I was like, are we redirecting? But she was like, but Wendy, if you could have been a real bitch and not had, not lied to my face and smiled in my face, and in all actuality, you were being a snake. First and foremost, Mia, snake is like your main language. Like if it ain't hissing and slithering about, you don't even understand it. That's why you and your best friend can only discuss and talk to each other in low blows. That's the only way you two hoes can communicate because y'all are two snakes. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. So then we get into the what was it? The Oh yeah, we got into her personal, her personal business when it came to the business of it all. So we said, so Andy said, so Mia, on social media, you said that your company has locked you out of the bank accounts. They're forcing you out. How was that happening when you were the CEO? Mia says, um, well, okay, I'm going to explain it like this. So there's a board of directors, and there's people who raises their hand and votes me. I'm just one vote. Like hello, vote me, vote one, and I voted. But in the grand scheme of things, you sign an operations, contractual agreement. And when you sign that contractual agreement, they could do anything that they want to do. And when that happens, it did. And now it's over. So, period. And everybody was like, now, let me pause for a second. I graduated as a double major, from the Strong School of Business. Hold up. I was about to show my degree, but I ain't take it out. I ain't take it out the delivery, post yet. But let me tell y'all how this happens. So think about a company as like the United States, okay? Right? So everybody take your pens and pencils out. I'm gonna explain something to you. All right. So when you have a corporation, right? You can have three different sets of powers. You could be the sole proprietor, which is the sole owner of the business, or you could be a co-owner, or they call it I forgot, it's like co something, but it's like multiple people own it, like, and have equal power in it, you know, and then you also have it as its own entity, you know. Now the thing about that is you can be spearheaded as a CEO. But don't think that when you're the CEO, necessarily in a lot of cases, that means that you just run the business and can do whatever you want because there's checks and balances. So that cannot happen. At the end of the day, the business is its own entity. You don't unless you're the sole proprietor, you are not going to just own it outright. That's not how that happens. Because if that was the case, anytime the company gets sued, you're getting sued. But because it's a separate entity, it needs to have its own stable foundation, which means that you're going to also need to have investors, which are a board of directors. Now, the board of directors are the people who maintain the livelihood and the stocks of the company, making sure that anything that's happening is going to be bettering the stocks of the company, because at the end of the day, they want their stocks in the company to rise because that's more market value, right? Now, when they get a CEO, what they do, they vet the CEO out. They all have to agree upon the CEO, and the CEO answers to the board of directors. And I know some of y'all may not understand what a CEO is. A CEO is not just somebody who owns a business, right? A CEO is somebody who's in charge of the strategic um decisions for the company. They're the ones who decides how the company is going to move, how they're going to, cut other companies out, how they're going to compete with other companies in the best way. That's why a lot of companies pay the CEOs as much as they do, because if they pay the CEO a lot of money from the company, that's in the CEO's best interest to also make the company a lot of money, because it's in their also best interest, right? It's always in the best interest of the company. That's what the board of directors are going to make sure is happening from the CEO. If they feel that the CEO is not doing anything to better the company, or they're doing things that are just self-motivated, they will throw him out, bring somebody else in, right? Now, I did not know if that's what Mia was saying, that she was the CEO, but she got outvoted, because you can have an outvote. Like the board of directors can come together, outvote you, and it could be a hostile takeover of some sort. Or you could just be kicked out, and that'll be that. Right? And what she's saying, it comes across as a hostile takeover, like they forced her out of the company. But then she said she was the chief marketing officer. So she says she was either she said she was the chief operating officer or the chief marketing officer. I believe she said marketing at one point, and then also said the CO, like COO as well. COOs and CMOs are not anything close to a chief, executive officer of a company. That's not it. That's not the case. So if that is the case, she was a CMO. She was never the CEO. The CEO and the CMO are completely different. For example, at my company, it was created by a husband and a wife. Now it's his own, corporate entity. But one of them is a CEO of the company, and then the other one is the president of the company. The CEO holds a 51% split, and then the president, which is also the CAO, the chief accounting officer, holds 49% of the company. Right? So she wears two different hats. So she's the chief accounting officer, but if she was just a chief accounting officer, that wouldn't put her in ownership of the company. But because she's the president slash owner, she was appointed as president, and then the husband was appointed as the CEO. And they work together to make sure that the company continues to grow. What I'm saying, does this make sense to y'all? Was y'all not expecting a little lesson? Like, so what Mia was saying, I'm not really understanding what was going on. Like, I know that, you can get forced out of a company. I get that. But why did you have act like the CMO, like a chief marketing officer, would never have access to bank funds for the whole company? That would never happen. That's not something that happens. And then was Gordon the CEO, but I swore she could have said that Gordon was the chief operating officer, which is completely different than the chief executive officer. So so when this all came about, Giselle basically came up and said, you know, it came across to me, that what had happened was that, that y'all were using funds from the company, like embezzlement, to pay off things, or to pay for rental properties, and then they caught wind of it and locked you guys out of the bank accounts, and then forced you guys out of your positions and your salaries, right? So when Giselle said that, it made a lot of sense, because that's what a lot of us were thinking. That's what a lot of us believed. I mean, we were kind of picking that up, just on their stance. Like, how do you come from a strip club to becoming a CMO of a whole franchise and a corporation? How does that happen? Like, what's the experience level? And then to be getting paid $500,000, $500,000 a year they're paying you. And it did come across as if, Gordon got the coochie whipped by like some stripper, and then he brought her into the company, married her, and gave her a position and gave her a salary. That's what it's coming across as, because what is Mia's credentials? What are Mia's credentials to run or even be head of a marketing company, of a marketing department of the company? I went to school from, I graduated May 2022 from Old Dominion University, alumni, with one of my majors, because I graduated as a double major, one of them being market research and analytics, and then the other one being business analytics. So basically business analysis, trying to come up with different strategies based on data on how to maximize companies' revenue and, their goals and profits. And I can't even, even with two majors, like a double major degree, I can't just go into chief marketing officer. But then again, I ain't on the pole. When you on the pole, you can make a lot of things happen, apparently. And that's exactly why, like Giselle brought up the fact that they believe that y'all got locked out of the accounts for that reason within itself. Side note, pause. How many of y'all like this video? I already know y'all already be doing me wrong. How many of y'all like this video? Huh? Is it 20 of y'all? It'd be 172 of y'all up in here, and only 20 people like the damn video. After I'm sitting here giving y'all business school advice, I'm sitting here doing everything I can do. But I hope y'all are liking this video, because we're on 56 minutes and we only halfway through. Jesus be with me. 88 likes. Wow. That's what I'm talking about. Like, this is the hate that I'm talking about, because y'all truthfully hate me. But anyway, I'll move on. I'll just let y'all just not like the video and watch me anyway. That's what y'all love to do. All right, so let's continue. So so they were really questioning me about this, and they were trying to see, so how many people are in the board of directors? At first she said 3, then it went to 4, then it went to 8, then somebody thought that she was going to say 7. And at this point, everybody's like giggling. Wendy's in the corner, like one of those like little Asian women from, the anime shows. And then Candace has to allow everybody to know that she's laughing. She's up there like, I was like, Candace, oh, okay, enough of the arm gestures, sis. We get it to all of y'all a week. Wendy's talking about carry the 2, add the 1, divided by 5, and maximize it by 10. And then Mia's gonna say, you know what? Because at the end of the day, it's not funny. I don't feel like answering this next question. First and foremost, Mia, I think you forgot that you're not an actual star of this show. You're just a cast member. So at the end of the day, if Andy wants to continue to ask you these questions in this, in this line of questioning, you're going to answer. So he brought it right back. And then he said what he said. And then she struggled to answer even more. Right? So at this point, I think that what Mia is feeling is embarrassment. I think what she felt was embarrassment. She definitely understood that they were laughing at her, not laughing with her. And honestly, that's what we all be doing. We all are laughing at you, Mia. None of us are like joining in by you and G, and we're not laughing with you. We're literally opposed to you, pointing at you and laughing. Like that, like it's like you're a joke to us. to me, to moi, right? We don't take you seriously, bro. I won't take Mia seriously until she takes her football, career seriously and re-signs her contract for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I will not take her seriously until then. Okay? Until I see that, that cow leather in Mia's hands, until I see her running down the 50-yard line to intercept a football at one of the latest Super Bowl, events probably next year. I won't take it. I won't take Mia seriously until she starts doing what she's supposed to do. God didn't bless you with those big hands, broad shoulders, long muscular legs just for you to be in hoochie mama dresses. Sis, we gonna need you to get into the NFL like you're supposed to be. Don't think that we don't know who you are, Sammy Sosa. But anyway, let's continue. All right. So the next part that we go to. Let me see. So we already hit Ashley, her hypocrisy, her hate for Candace talking about her generational wealth. Oh yeah, we also, apart in the grand scheme of things, when Mia and Wendy were kind of going at it, Wendy is gonna say, Mia is gonna say, well, unlike you, I don't have a husband who's sitting right next to the bed, while I'm in a hospital at 5 a.m. in the morning. I was like, Mia, was that supposed to be a drag? I was like, Mia, it's not giving what you thought that it gave. I was like, you can't drag somebody for having a husband who loves and supports them. I was like, that should make you feel even worse that your husband is basically asking, could he fall asleep outside of your children's, high school or middle school or elementary school events? And her husband is an actual lawyer at an actual firm that's able to also work and support his wife. And he has a good work-life balance. What up, bro? How you doing, J-Dub? I haven't saw you in a minute. Oh, I haven't been on here in a minute. And I was like, what? So I was like, is this the drag that she thought that it was? And then Wendy's gonna say, well, I'm sorry, I have a man who loves and supports me. Maybe in your next marriage, you'll have that too. And then and then Mia's gonna say, I bet you will love that, huh? Mia. It's giving sad. It's giving sad. It's giving sad. Give me a second. Mm-mm, 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 mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like I was saying, it was definitely getting cleared, and I was just really confused on how Mia thought that was going to be a read because it definitely wasn't given one. But let's move on. So y'all, we here. Y'all ready for this? Now, I was kind of, not wanting to talk about this because of how emotional and angry I've known to get around this topic. But I think I've calmed within like the last couple weeks. Let me tell y'all something. Behind the scenes, y'all, I have been trying to understand because I understand that with my channel, I know that if I wanted to grow and I wanted to grow into what I think it can be and what I am capable of, I will have to learn how to edit some of the things that I have to say and some of the opinions that I believe. And I say edit, I mean filter it to where it's palatable. Palatable and palpable as well. I know I can have a very spicy, ghost pepper, delivery, you know. And I believe I can find a perfect medium. And I'm trying that now. Sometimes I will admit I cannot control it. Sometimes I cannot help on how passionate I get about certain things. And I begin to read the girls down. I can't help that. But at the end of the day, I'm getting better. I feel like this video, this one right here, y'all see, it's getting better. It's getting better. It's definitely giving ghost pepper delivery. I'm like, I definitely have improved. See, I have not cursed like that in this review. I have not called these women out of their names for the most part. Look, pretty soon, you like, hello, it's Jeremy Speaks. And you guys have reached Jeremy Speaks TV. Pretty soon. It's not going to be that bad though. Okay, but listen, let's continue. So we get into the whole, which was, y'all, I was really shocked by this. I didn't think that we were going to be getting into the whole Candace versus Giselle thing until part 3. Chris is definitely going to come out and defend himself, apparently. And he's going to be eating the girls up. But at the end of the day, I just was not expecting her to discuss this early. But I was like, okay, guess we are. So we go over, to everything happening with, Chris, Candace, and Giselle and Ashley, right? So at this point, Candace says, my issue with Giselle is that, she's going to say that she's uncomfortable and then, wait until we get on camera to bring this up in front of me, in front of nationally syndicated television, and talk about my husband to me when she's seen me in multiple places. Giselle's like, where are we seeing each other? Where we hung out at? And then she's going to say, so wasn't you at my album release party? Weren't you there? And then Giselle says, okay, so you want me to bring it up during your album release party when you're going through all of that happiness? And then she said, okay, so you don't want to bring it up at my album release party, but you want to bring it up on nationally syndicated television and then tell me how my man made you feel uncomfortable with your 11,000 stories. Giselle is like, what stories? What 15 different stories? What are you talking about? What have I lied about? So then Candace says, you don't remember what you said? You don't remember what you said? How my husband is a sneaky link? How you've been around all of these husbands before and you know what it seems like when they're trying to see if you were down with it? How your makeup artist said that he waited until after I left to do and bring you to your room to try to talk to you in private. And then Giselle is going to say, after all of that shit, see? Giselle is going to say after all of that, you know what? I'm going to give you an apology right now. And then Candace is like, a what? An apology. And then Ashley is going to bring up talking about, girl, how you know Giselle, she likes to put hot sauce and seasoning on stuff. Excuse me, Ashley, how about you worry about the hot sauce and seasoning and extra stank sauce that Michael put on your prenuptial agreement that got you getting nothing? How about you worry about that? How about you worry about all the extra stank and extra sauce that he put on your prenuptial agreement that you had no idea about? Y'all, give me a second. I'll be right back. Excuse me. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'll be right back. Please give me a second. Please be patient with me, y'all. Give me a second. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm back. Excuse me. Excuse me for that. I had to go and talk to myself for a while. I had to tell myself, you will not. You won't. You made progress. You made progress. But Ashley's gonna sit here and say, well, Giselle likes to add extra stank sauce and add extra sauce and hot sauce to it. Um so I have a bottle of Frank Red. Well, not I have a bottle of Texas Pete right here. Let me read off the ingredients to it. So it's vinegar, aged peppers, salt, vinegar, water, xanthan gum, sodium benzoate to preserve freshness and flavor. And that was manufactured on a line that produces products with a soy allergen. Nowhere do I see and hear fake ass sexual assault allegations. I don't see fake ass sexual harassment allegations in the ingredients. I don't see that in here. I don't see that in the ingredients for hot sauce. So when we're saying that she's adding hot sauce, are we just saying that it's okay to you to fucking lie on men about feeling sexually assaulted? About feeling uncomfortable sexually, about intimidation sexually? Is that what we're allowed to do now? Let me tell you something. God forbid one day, Giselle, God forbid one day somebody tries. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Cause I don't know if I may be muted still. I'll be forgetting to take it. Okay, yo, so y'all can hear me. Cool. So you telling me, and God forbid, somebody was to touch you or your turkey neck without your consent, Giselle. If you came up to us, to the public, to tell your story, to try to be an advocate of something, you couldn't even be mad if nobody believed you because we thought you putting extra hot sauce on it? We can't trust what you say because you like hot sauce. So what part of this story is the hot sauce involving? What point in this story did you fabricate? What part of this story may not be truthful? That's made to exaggerate things so it can come across as entertainment. Pause. But I guarantee if you said that to her, she would be like, but we're not on the show, so I'm not trying to add no entertainment. There we go. There we go. So you do lie, exaggerate things that can become almost criminal for sheer entertainment and for storylines on the show. And that's disgusting. So she tries to give an apology to Candace. And Candace like, when are you giving this apology? She says, right now to you, right now to you. And then Candace says, you can take that apology and shove it up your, because at the end of the day, I don't need that apology. Okay? So then Giselle says, okay, it'll look pretty good up there. It'll look pretty good up there. Apology. I was like, you think that you're eating it. You think that you eating it, sitting up here dressed like a first lady of some damn Kojic church. You're not eating it, Giselle. Like, this is not cute. You too damn old for this. For you to think that sexual assault, sexual harassment are things to joke and put hot sauce on. Coming from the military, y'all, being in the military, I've seen things, I've heard things, I've watched women become shells of themselves because they were victims, but they didn't feel comfortable enough to tell their stories. And they didn't feel comfortable enough to come forward because of people judging them, people not believing them, people not going to take up for them. Like you can look at the cases. You have like Lavina Johnson, Vanessa Guillen. The list goes on and on. So to have like this woman here joke about something and we call it hot sauce, is so disgusting. And it's really not even entertaining. It's not okay. And it's very disgusting, to be honest. And for you to have three daughters, and for you to still think that this is okay, it allows me to know that at some point in their childhood, you probably taught them some things that they should not have learned from you because you are not equipped enough to have the mental dexterity to fully articulate these type of things that's happening, like in these nuances that are happening in the world right now. This is not the time for you to be playing around about this type of stuff, Giselle. It's not the time. And you should feel highly ashamed of yourself. You should feel disgusted. But you don't. You don't. Because you carry on like nothing, nothing happens. It's just all a part of the show. I'm gonna move on. Anyway, so now, like Andy is saying, but what exactly made you uncomfortable, Giselle? Giselle is saying, like, it's the fact that I was in a room with a married man and I felt uncomfortable. And at this point, Robin is going to say, can we all just agree that it's wrong for married men to be in rooms with single women by them, but by themselves? First and foremost, Robin, just because one likes to get his dick sucked by bitches from Canada, allegedly that he flew out and paid for their hotel rooms, does not mean that that's how all of these motherfuckers. See, you need to stop trying to speak your shit on other bitches, right? What you need to say is, like, everybody, let's all agree that Juan Dixon don't need to be in a hotel room with nobody. That's when we would have agreed with you, right? That's when we would have been like, you know what, Robin, you got a point, bitch. Kudos, you did that. You made a point. You made a point. But don't try to push your sins of your husband or former husband or whatever he is to you onto other motherfuckers, because there's women who are able to trust their men. There's men who are able to be trusted. Not every man is out here trying to hound dog bitches for their goodies. That's not what all men are trying to do. And it's sad that y'all are so tacky, that y'all are so insecure, and y'all men are so untrustworthy that y'all can't even trust them talking to single women in a room by themselves without something inappropriate happening. But, look at who y'all been with. You have Juan Dixon, justice for the basketball player who lost his scholarship at Copen State. Justice for him. Justice for him. Then let's also talk about, the fact that Jamal Bryant is out here selling Lucy's and doobie wraps in the church house, allegedly. And out here impregnating other congregants. I don't even know if that's a word, but it feels like one, congregant. I feel like I've seen that in a dictionary or an encyclopedia. I'm pretty sure congregant is a word. Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure one of y'all would check for me, but I want to make sure. Congregant. Period. Look at that. Look, it's the vocabulary for me. It's the vocabulary for me. If it is a word, I just looked it up. And I was spot on. But anyway, so yes. So Robin is gonna say, let's all just say that married men should not be, in hotel rooms with single women. And then Andy's like, so I don't understand. Why is it that, a married man who's a decent individual and responsible individual not being able to have a conversation with another responsible adult? It's because they're dating men that are not responsible, and they don't know what that either feels like to have a man who cares enough about them to manage their penis. They don't know what that's like, Andy. You're talking, it's like you're talking Klingon to them. They don't understand that because they don't have men that love them, that cherish them, that cares for them. And let me tell you something. A lot of y'all, like, you know what? I ain't even gonna throw out any straight shots to y'all, that are around that just may be getting cheated on, that y'all staying. That's y'all personal business. I'm gonna leave it to shots to Giselle and Robin. But I'm saying, you got to think about it. That's what they had. That's what they've had, to look up to. But yeah. So at this point, Candace says, what you do, because you have nothing going on in that dwindling uterus of yours, you come and you make up things and you say things that are not true to distract from your dwindling uterus and the fact that you have nothing going on. And I know y'all might be in the minority. I know I may be in the minority with this, but I could have did without the insults, honestly. And I'm gonna tell you why. I believe that Candace was eating her up with straight facts about what she was doing, that I think that, like, insults were kind of, unnecessary, because the points that you're making are so important and so serious that it begins to become a little bit of fitter fatter, a little pitter patter, when you're just throwing in insults on top of it. Not saying, excuse me, that she does not deserve insults, because she does, but I'm saying that I don't think that the insults were necessary. When it came to the dwindling uterus stuff, I could have did without it, because I felt like she was already eating her up, like, period. And, at some points, like, in here, I feel like Candace was making great points, and Candace was doing such an amazing job at holding Giselle accountable. And then she'll throw in, insults, and I feel like it's not necessary. You're doing what you need to do. Later on, when your husband comes out here, that's when you throw in the insults. But right now, while you're explaining your points right now, I don't think that the insults were necessary. Candace can't win. Candace can win, and Candace has won. I'm just like, I don't have a problem. Like, when I'm saying I don't have a problem with her talking about that lady dwindling uterus, don't get me confused. I'm not saying this because I think that what she said was wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of how serious those accusations were and how serious this conversation was, I thought that she was doing a really good job, of maintaining the seriousness of, the conversation. That's what I'm saying. And I felt like when, the insults started to fly, with your dwindling uterus and stuff, I was like, now it's coming across as, just shade back and forth. But before that, you were making valid points. And before that, you were definitely making the case against Giselle. And this came across very serious, that what she was doing. Then when you take it to like a petty, insult throwing thing, you take it to, just some housewives argument. But this is deeper than that, because this can affect anybody. This is something that needs to be talked about. False accusations, people lying, people needing to be held accountable for those things. And I was happy when Wendy alley-ooped her as well, and basically said, you do that. Because Giselle, like she always does, and y'all remember a few weeks ago, or some weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I did a video about Giselle and about how she was basically talking about how she was going to go to the reunion, how she was going to basically let Candace have it, how it was going to be like this and like that and like this and and when and I told y'all, you could see the fear in Giselle's eyes right now. You were able to see the fear in Giselle's eyes in the dressing room when he asked if y'all nervous, and they both were like, no, we're not nervous. It was definitely given that she was nervous, and we knew that Giselle was going to be eaten up like Bon Appetit as soon as she got to the reunion. And Giselle is looking crazy, like, well, I did this to husbands. Like, what are you talking? Like I was so happy when Wendy also stepped in and said, she's telling the truth. You do this a lot with husbands. And excuse us, but it's become a pattern. You did it with Ray. You did it with Michael. You did it with Ashley's husband. I mean, you did it with my husband. You did it with Chris and Monique. And now you're doing it with Candace. And, now you're doing it with Candace and Chris. It's giving that Giselle is pathetic. It's giving that Giselle is pathetic. She literally sits there and just makes these confused faces. Why don't you just stand 10 toes down on what you have to say? Don't apologize for it. Justify it. Now we're in front of everybody. You have me here. You have Andy here. The rest of the women, stand 10 toes down when you said my husband wanted to see if you were down with it. If he was calling you a sneaky, you called him a sneaky link. Stand 10 toes down and justify why you said that and what you said it for. Just like justify it. That's what I wanted. I wanted that. That's what I wanted. I wanted her to be pressed on why she said it. Don't apologize to me for saying it. Tell me why you said it and what made you feel that way. But y'all, Andy end up putting it to bed because he says that we'll be talking about this at a later date. I'm not a later date, but we'll talk about this later because Chris is here. Unlike Robin's husband or lack thereof, you know Chris is here. He's going to defend his wife. He's going to defend those who mean the most to him. He's going to stand behind his wife and be there for his wife. But I also wanted to show y'all something as well. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. Now, I want to see if if I'm not mistaken, I saw somewhere where Chris had shown the text messages that he sent Giselle. And I wanted to pull that up and read it for y'all before I hopped up off of here because now we reached the end of the episode. And I wanted to discuss that as well. Okay? Give me a second. I'm gonna go to his Twitter page and see if it's in there. I would imagine it could be, right? I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't know. I don't know where everybody was getting that that text from. Let me see. Chris Bassett text. Yeah, I can't find it, y'all. I can't find it. But yes, y'all. So I can't find that. Like I can't find the screenshot of the text message. But I did want to say that in this reunion part 1, I would probably say that Candace, well, I won't probably, Candace definitely came out on top. Candace did excellent. She always does. Candace is always performing very well. I don't know why people don't like Candace. I've said she performs well throughout the season at the reunion. She does what she needs to do. And I'm happy that everybody is finally starting to see it, but it's gonna be kind of irritating dealing with fake Candace fans that just hopped onto the bandwagon when I've been literally windmilling for Candace since season 5. Oh, PYT, you sent it. What did you send it to me to? Did you send it to me on Instagram? Okay, I see. Okay. So I'll open this up in a new tab. We'll minimize it a little bit. So we'll minimize it. Let me share the screen real quick. Here we go. Okay. So this is the text. So it says, "Hey, sorry we didn't get a chance to talk this season." I'm sorry. Let me make sure this is set up the way that y'all can see it. Okay, y'all can see it. Cool. Let me make sure I take this off. Thank you, PYT, also for sending me this. So she says, "Hey." So he says, "Hey, I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to talk this season because I feel it blank, 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 blank. We don't really see." But then he says, "Needed to be had. And maybe sometime you and Candace and I can have that conversation. If I truly made you feel uncomfortable for that, I am sorry. But I'll be honest, I have been very angry about how this is played out. and some of the words that have been used, and that is why I have been hesitant. I do want you to know that I respect you as a woman and would never do anything intentionally to make you feel any way. Today was Candace's day, and I just wanted to celebrate her and not, whatever the rest of that says. But notice how even after this had what came about, right? She got on Watch What Happens Live. After all of this taping happened, after that messages were sent, she got on to Watch What Happens Live. And Andy asked her, do you feel that Candace should be worried about what Chris is doing behind the scenes? And she's gonna say yes. King trash. She's literally dumpster juice, and I cannot stand her at all. She's a liar. She's a liar from the pits of hell. And it's disgusting how miserable, saggy, and tacky you are. So much pokertude. But y'all, besides me being disgusted by Giselle and Robin, also, Candace, I really need you to understand that Robin is not your friend either, because while you were talking, she couldn't wait to jump in for Giselle and talk over you and scream over you when your husband has been accused of sexual harassment and sexual assault. If only she could scream at one like that when he was going to go fuck with bitches in the, like you at the Red Roof Inn, allegedly. But no, she's using all of that bass in her voice to talk over you to defend Giselle, the same person who she literally was throwing under the bus during the season and saying that she thinks that Giselle is just making shit up. But all right, y'all, that's all I have for y'all. That's all I have today. That's all Jeremy got. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Can't really say I did, because anytime I have to see this type of stuff, I'm worn out. I'm worn thin, child. But I love every single one of y'all, all right? And I want y'all to understand this. All of you guys are important. All of you guys are necessary. All of you guys are needed. Okay? I don't want y'all to ever feel that y'all are not meant to be here, that y'all don't have any purpose in this life. So understand that you are loved. And most importantly, I want you to love on yourself. Okay, in this world right now is so much, so much so many perilous times right now. So, and it's important that we all know that we are loved, that we are cherished, and if not by anybody else, at least by yourself. Okay, and I love you. Jeremy love you. All right, so if you need a hug, here you go. Give me a hug. I am a little, but just take a vitamin C tablet afterwards. Okay. Now I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful rest of y'all day, and baby, I'll plan on doing the same. And I'll see y'all next time. Okay, y'all. I love every single one of y'all. Lord Jesus, I just forgot I gotta do Love and Marriage DC. I'm gonna need to message. I'm gonna need to message. I'm gonna need to message JB says what? Oh my gosh. But then again, I wasn't feeling good, so I couldn't do it anyway, y'all. But I love every single one of y'all. I need to go get all of these collaborations situated. Much love, much peace. Bye.